Hi everyone, here we are in week 5, and I'm your instructor, Brenda Gustin. And week 5 is actually, by the end of week 5, you're a third of the way through the semester. It's amazing how fast it goes. But more importantly, we have exam number 1. And I've been looking at your grades. A lot of people are doing great. Most of you are doing great. Remember, all the assignments you've had so far, as long as you've completed them, you get 100%. So we've got a bunch of you have 100%, which is great. And this is the week we actually get exam number 1 in there, and we get a little disruption to your grade. But do not be alarmed, because you have a lot of those other grades to work with this. That being said, I hope you're ready for exam number 1, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. You'll notice that the assignments that I have, all the elements of the week 5, are in a little bit different order than we usually have. The first thing I have after the video that I'll post up here is the lab handout, and below that are the lab. There's one lab assignment and then virtual labs. And that's just like we've done in the past as far as grading and all. But why I want you to notice that is that that material on week 5 lab is consistent with some of the material for exam number 1. So remember, on exam number 1, we're talking about gram staining, we're talking about endospores, we're talking about acid fast staining and capsule staining. So doing the lab before you take exam 1 is recommended. You don't have to, but I recommend it, because that way you'll get a review of those concepts, and that should help your performance on those topics on exam number 1. The next thing you'll see, oh, there's a lab quiz too. So all of that goes together. The next thing you'll see is exam number 1. And remember, we're using Respondus, the lockdown browser, and the webcam. If you want to try the Respondus practice quiz again, remember it's in the week 4 folder. You can practice it as many times as you want. If you haven't practiced Respondus, I would definitely try it before you start exam 1. Make sure it's working. Do not wait to the last minute and get to Sunday and realize, oh my gosh, I can't get Respondus to work. And you're not going to get a whole lot of sympathy. So plan ahead. I put some important notes here about exam number 1. It covers material from weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4. Remember, 1 and 2 were the same stuff, but it covers the lecture material. Sometimes the lab overlaps and reinforces the lecture material, but I specifically take the questions for the test from the lecture study guides. There's 37 questions for 75 points. Most of the questions are multiple choice, but there are a few short answer and fill in the blanks. What happens is, it will immediately give you a grade when you're completed the exam, but that grade might not be your actual grade. It might, if anything, it's going to be lower than your actual grade, because Brightspace can't grade those short answer and fill in the blank questions. It doesn't necessarily grade them accurately, and so I have to go back and grade them all myself. I do my grading on Monday. So we have our due dates are Sunday, and then Monday when I go to work, I teach a class, and then I just start grading. I always look at the previous week. So expect your actual grade on exam number 1 to appear sometime on Monday. I try to get it done Monday morning. Also, here it just reminds you to do that week number 5 lab before you take this exam, and you have 60 minutes to take the exam. That will be more than enough time for everybody, I'm sure, because there's just 37 questions, and like I said, most of them are multiple choice, so they don't take a long time. There is lecture material this week. It's on viruses and prions, and there's a lecture study guide, and there's a lecture assignment. Now, when I was doing this, I realized, oh, we have a test, and we had a lot going on in lab, and my original plan for what I was going to do for viruses and prions got cut back. So it looks like I've added extra on this week by adding a test in addition to lecture and lab, but the amount of lecture material I'm giving you this week is less than I would during a week without a test. So you'll find that lecture study guide and that lecture assignment, you should get through them a little bit faster than you have been in the past weeks. You have any questions, you just want to talk about material before you study, you just want to pop by and say hi, whatever it is, I'm glad to talk to you. So, good luck this week, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how you guys are do on exam number one. Make sure you study, 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 study. Okay? Take care.